All right. Oh, look at that, folks. It's the Sam's Club that they announced last Friday they're going to close on the 26th of January, along with a ton of other stores. So that means if you have a Sam's Club membership, you're kind of stuck because now you got to drive 15 miles. But yeah, they don't care about that. They care about shifting inventory, getting her closed. So that big thing about Walmart opening up more jobs and or higher pay, excuse me, not jobs, but raising the wage of their workers, it's at the expense of the Sam's Club franchise. So, you know, that whole building full of people don't have jobs at the end of the month. That's pretty shitty. But hey, on a brighter note, it's the Wingnut, and yeah. I still can't believe Walmart's doing that shit. I mean, whatever, they're making a buck. It's just at the expense of their employees. So, just stuff like that's why I can see a lot of people not liking capitalism, because people with massive amounts of money sometimes really abuse their power. I mean, I can see it. I don't necessarily believe in, not having a capitalistic way of life, because I've seen it work quite well for my family and myself. So, but I've seen it where people have abused the shit out of it. They really have. I'm trying to go through this without cursing too much. I'm working on my language around folks. But, yeah. So, back in the day, Walmart was one of the best companies you could work for. And back in the day, I'm talking about late 80s, early 90s, when Sam Walton was still around. He was the founder of Walmart. They were real big on American products. Real big on American. Buy American, use American, that kind of thing. And they were huge on it. And their stocks really weren't worth a lot. And they didn't have the super centers or any of that stuff. It was a department store. It wasn't a grocery store or anything else. And honestly, it had a really good growth rate. But it had a really good growth rate where it wasn't at the cost of the workers, and it wasn't at the cost of Mr. Walton's integrity. That's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. I mean, almost as soon as other people took over after Mr. Walton passed, it blew up. Super centers, and they're in the grocery stores, and they'd move into these little podunk towns, and they'd just wipe out all the business. And then they realized they didn't have enough, which actually happened in South Tennessee. Is they moved into this town, a super center moved into this town, right? Had a little bitty tiny Walmart from way back in the day, and they had a bunch of grocery stores and hardware stores and all that stuff. So they moved in this town with this super center, right? They're there for 8 months. They put everybody else out of business because no one can compete with their prices. I mean, they're a huge corporate giant. People cannot buy at the wholesale rate that they can buy. It's just impossible. And then they realized that, hey, we don't have enough business to support this location. So 8 months after they opened, they closed it. 8 months. 6 months after they opened, they decided they were going to close it. And then now this town's got nothing. It's economically crippled because a lot of people from that town work there. People now have to drive out of the area, and I'm gonna tell you right now, it's a lot of places in southern Tennessee. If you're not in a major city, which there's not very many, is 45 minutes to an hour to get to anything. So if you've got a small town that's 20 minutes away that has a Walmart, you're doing good. You know what I mean? Like, that's a short commute. And we're not like talking 20 minutes of city traffic. We're talking 20 minutes of highway, 60 miles an hour kind of stuff. And then they'll turn around and now those folks have to go much further. So, I mean, it's stuff like that. It's moments like that when big corporations do that stuff that bother me. Honestly, I am a Sam's Club customer. And I got a membership because they were close by. Now, to driving to the next nearest facility, it's no longer economical for me to do that. And my membership is really, $40 pissed up up a rope. So it's really frustrating to see that shit. My personal impact, yeah, it's annoying, but for the folks that had a job there, who no longer have a job, and I'm sure they made some sad fucking attempt to find job placement for these folks, if at all. But I guarantee you, there's just, at the end of the day, at the end of this month, there's going to be a lot of folks without a job because it was sprung on them. I mean, they quite literally came into work on Friday or Thursday or whatever day it was. They just came into work that morning and they're like, oh yeah, by the way, 26 were shut down, you won't have a job. Because that's what's being reported by the people who work there. And it's really sad. It's just really sad. And I know you guys really don't want to hear me bitch about this to no end, but it's just something that absolutely and utterly bothered me. Okay? It just really is. So I mean, when corporations do stuff like that, and they do things to maintain profit at the expense of their employees, I don't like that. I grew up in my dad owned a small business. I had plenty of family members that owned small businesses. I worked in plants, and they took care of their employees. I mean, they really took care of their employees, and you saw it, like, because the employees appreciated it. Man, I've kind of had it with big box stores. I really have. And unfortunately, there's just some things that if you need it today, like a certain pipe fitting or whatnot, you have to go to a big box store. But personally, I'm about to go solid small business. Even if it costs me, extra money, I would rather use small businesses if I can. Because I'm over it, man. I'm over it. Oh, and by the way, Walmart stocks went up. Fucking ridiculous. All right, well, that's my rant, guys. I'm not gonna beat you around the ears anymore about it. So it's the Wingnut. Like, dislike, subscribe. It's on you. Have a good one.